Welcome to next lecture of compiler design, that is on symbol tables. Basically we will discuss structures, data structures for symbol table. So, I am Dr. Parul Yadav, assistant professor at Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Institute of Engineering and Technology, Lucknow. So, in today's lecture we will cover symbol table, the contents of a symbol table, then we will discuss various data structures used in symbol table like list, self-organizing list, search trees based on BST and then hash tables. Now, first is the general idea what is symbol table. As we already know that the compiler has the phases and there are two more components other than the phases, there are symbol table and error recovery routine. So, in today's class we will focus on symbol table, what is basic structure for the symbol table and how or what are the various data structures that can be used to implement a symbol table. So, what actually happens whenever we write some program, then program contains various names and it has certain information that needs to be stored in some place, that is actually the symbol table. This is that structure, data structure, this is the symbol table. So, here the compiler collects and use the information about the names appearing in the source program. So, while compilation process, compiler will scan the source program and it will collect and use information about the names that are appearing in the source program. So, how actually it is done? Here each entry in the symbol table, it is a pair. So, this pair consists of two things broadly, name and the information. So, what is name actually? While scanning it will find some sequence of characters and these sequence of characters can be the name to that particular variable, we can say. So, the string of characters that is forming a name, and the name can be for variable, it can be for procedure, function, defined constants, labels, various structures. So, this is the name. Now, second entry of the symbol table is the information about that name. So, information mean what is the type of that particular name, it is of float type, integer, character, double. So, what is the data type for it? Next is what is a form for it, it is simple form or it is of a structural form, right, complex data structure is there. Now, next is the location where we will actually store the name as well as the information. Next is the scope, it is global, it has global scope or local scope. Now, there could be the other attributes like array limit if you are talking about array, then parameters or return values if you are talking about the procedures or functions. So, each time a name is encountered, symbol table is searched. So, here a symbol table is scanned for the names and if it will search the symbol table whenever some name is encountered, it will check whether that name is lying in that is already in the table or not. So, if it is not in the table, then that particular name will be entered into the table. If it is already there, so no need to create the new entry into the table. So, and this is about the single table. Now, similarly, there may be separate tables for names. If we are there are various types of name, it could be variable, label, procedure name. So, we can have a separate table for every category of name. So, now next is actually we know that there are the phases of the compiler like lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, then code intermediate code generation, then code optimization and then code generation, and all these phases are linked with the symbol table. So, what actually happens, some of the phases of compiler write something into the symbol table and while some of the phases of compiler fetch the information from the symbol table. So, there are two phases, lexical analysis phase and syntax analysis phase. These two phases of compiler fills the symbol table. So, lexical analysis mean here we will scan the source program and it will find the lexeme and certain token will be returned, and so information will be stored into that symbol table. Similarly, during the syntax analysis, information will be stored into the symbol table. Now, next are the these are the phases like semantic, code optimization, code generation and all. These phases will use the information that has already been written. So, while if you are talking about semantic analysis, so here it checks that the uses of name are consistent with their implicit or explicit declaration. So, here we have already stored the information, and at the time of semantics it will be checked whether the grouping is meaningful or not. Like suppose we are using doing a plus b, one is of float type, another one is of integer type, and such addition is not allowed, then appropriate action can be taken, or if it is allowed, then again appropriate action is required. So, it will check the consistency. Now, next is the code optimization. So, if we are using the symbol table, then the space of symbol table can be used for code optimization also. Like we can flag the we can do the flagging of temporaries that are used more than once. Right. So, in the code, if the temporaries are used more than once, then they can be flagged. Now, next is the code generation. So, knowing how much and what kind of runtime storage must be allocated to the name. So, for that purpose also we use the symbol table. Now, next is like error detection and recovery routine. So, this is the error detection and recovery routine, and so here also it uses the symbol table, the information that is stored in symbol table, like printing error messages. For example, undefined variable, suppose there is some variable capital A that is undefined in a program, then it will prompt us the undefined variable A type error diagnostic message. And parallelly what it will do, if this undefined variable there are multiple places where this variable is used and this is undefined. So, it will print the error message only once rather than printing n number of times, it will print only once. So, these are various phases of compiler, and it shows that lexical analysis and syntax analysis phase of compiler fills the symbol table, while remaining phases of compiler use the information that is stored into the symbol table. Now, next is how to design the symbol table, and what are the things issues in designing the symbol table. So, first is we need to find a principal way to organize and assess the symbol table. So, there should be some principle or there should be some mechanisms for what, just to organize and assess the symbol table. So, what are the primary issues in designing? Because we will do the entry for names. So, issues are like format of entries, then what should be the method of access, and what should be the place where the information should be stored. So, these are certain the design issues issues in designing the symbol table. Now, if you talk about the block structured language, so block structured language use same identifier to represent distinct name with a nested scope. So, suppose we are taking one example, suppose this is block A and it is using this is block A and it is using some variable, suppose int A, and inside that again there is another block B and suppose it is using again an integer A. So, if you are talking about block structured language, the same identifier can be used at multiple places, and the thing is this A and this A both are distinct. So, here when we are designing the symbol table, it needs to ensure that innermost occurrence of identifier is always found first, right. And next is the removal of such names from the action portion of the symbol table when they are no longer active. So, suppose we have executed this procedure, B has been executed, now this is this is not active now. So, they all should be removed, right, this A should be removed, and if we are at this particular procedure, then this should be preferred. We are not, if we are assessing A, it means we are talking about this A, not this A. So, these things should be ensured while designing the symbol table. Now next is what are the various contents of the symbol table. So symbol table broadly has two fields. In abstract way we can say it takes two fields. One is for name, this could be for procedure, variable, constant, label. So name. Second, it's related information like what is the type of it, scope of it, where it should be stored, and what is the, it is simpler type or complex type, like that. So it has two fields, name and information. Now what actually is expected from the symbol table and what is the required capabilities. So here it needs to perform search operation. We may require to search a particular name in the available records. Now sometimes we may require to add a new name into the symbol table. We can imagine a symbol table is looking like this. It is having name and here we have info, right. So next is we may require to add a new name into the symbol table. Next is access information with the given name. So suppose we need to access the information with a given name. So we are giving the name and we want to fetch the respective information. Now add new information for the given name, mean at a particular time the name is already there, but we want to add its information with respect to this name. So adding the new information for the given name or updating also. Next is delete name or group of name. So sometimes we may require to delete particular name from the symbol table or the group of names along with its information from the symbol table. So these are the expected capabilities of a symbol table. Now next is names in the symbol table. Names in the symbol table actually denote objects of various sorts. So they may have separate, we may have separate table for variable names, labels, procedure name, constant, field name, or for structure or other type of name depending upon the language. So we may be having separate tables for different types of name, label, procedure, array, single variable, complex variable. What is the reason for this actually? Because it is useful to have more than one table with varying size and format of information. So if we are talking about a particular name and its associated information, so in size of information or format of information is varying in various categories. If we are having about procedure, then information will have something else like what are the various parameters, what is a return value. If we are talking about ordinary variable, then it will have only the data type, right. So parameters are different, information fields, further subfields are different. So because the format is different and size of different, so it is advisable that we should use separate table for separate category of names. Now next is what are the various data structures for symbol tables. So symbol table is searched every time when an identifier is encountered. Whenever some identifier or some name is encountered in the program, first of all we search the symbol table and we will check whether the name is already in the list or not, right. If it is not in the list, right, then data are added if the new name or information is discovered. Then if name is new, then name will be added, if information is new, then information will be added. So it is required to add new entries and finding existing entries in symbol table efficiently. So this is very important point. Here we try to perform operations efficiently, and majorly what operation is required to add a new entry or to find the existing entries. So these two operations we want to do very efficiently, and there are various types of data structures that we will discuss in today's class. So for these data structure we will analyze what is the complexity for that particular data structure while designing symbol table for symbol table implementation. So the evaluation scheme for this is actually what the time required to add n entries or inquire or make inquiries of make m inquiries. So, here we will generalize that we will take we will study 4 categories of data structures, and in every category we will see if you are performing n entries or m inquiries, then what will be the what will be the time required, or we can say the complexity. So, here why we are doing so, because we know majorly we will be adding some record, we will be adding some entry into the symbol table, or we will be searching for particular record. So, considering this, basically here commonly used data structure for symbol tables are linear list, tree or hash table. So, linear list, under linear list we will study 2 categories for the list and self organizing list. Now, in linear list actually this is the simplest form, and it is inefficient when large number of entries and inquiries are there. So, this is first category, that is a linear list. Next is the tree. Basically here we will talk about a binary search tree. So, it is better in performance if we compare it with linear list, and with some increase in implementation difficulty. So, it slightly implementation complexity will increase, but it definitely it will have better performance. Now, if you talk about hash table, they are best in performance, and here what we have, some greater programming efforts or some extra space may be required to implement it, or will be required actually to implement it, but it will have the best performance. Now, we will discuss these schemes one by one. Now, first is the list. What we have in list, it is just like this data structure where we have the 2 main fields, one is the name and info. So, here we are maintaining a list, this is name 1 or info 1, name 2, info 2 and so on, then we have name n or info n. And here this is the blank cell, this is showing this is pointed by the available, and available is showing the first available space. Now, suppose we need to enter name n plus 1 into the table, then it will be stored here name n plus 1, then we will store its information, that is info for n plus 1, and now available will point to next available space. So, we can say this is simplest and easiest data structure where we are storing all the records one after another in linear way, and it use array or equivalently several arrays to store name and their associate information, mean based on requirement we will add the columns into it. Now, new names are added to the list in the order in which they are encountered. So, the order in which the names are encountered, they will be added into the list. Now, available is what? It indicates position of the first empty portion of the array. So, it is this one available. Now, next we perform 2 operations, retrieve and insert. Now, see, retrieve mean we are searching for the record. So, here we search from beginning up to the position marked by the pointer available. So, here we will start from here and we will check whether name is matched to our searched name or not. So, if it is not matched, then we will move to next index, then we will move to next index and we will end here. Now, thing is, there are 2 possibilities, record is found or not found. So, if the associate information can be found in the word following next. So, if the record is found, suppose name 2, then its associated information can be found in the next word, next cell to this. Now, if it is not found, then it will announce a fault and the use of an undefined name. So, in that case it will announce the undefined name. Now, next is the insert, mean we want to insert a new record into the symbol table. For that purpose also, before inserting the new name into the symbol table, we scan down the list to be sure that it is not already there. So, we will again scan, suppose we have n plus 1th record, then we will scan this record, this table from top to bottom one after another, and if we did not find it, right. If it is not, then we will store the new word and increase the pointer by the width of the symbol table record. So, here if it is not in the list, then here suppose n plus 1 we will store at the first available space and we will reserve the required space for it as per the symbol table record size, and now available will point to this particular record. If it is there while searching we want to insert, but we are finding that record is already in the list, then here we will announce a fault. And what is that? This is a multiple defined name. So, programmer somehow has done has defined the variable at multiple places. So, this is the way how we are doing retrieve and insert operation, and remember for doing the insertion first we are searching the entire list. Alright. Now, next is the list. In list we will analyze the complexity. So, the number of names in symbol table, suppose n number of records are there. Now, work necessary to insert a name is proportional to n, right. So, or on average search is to find the data is n by 2. Suppose we are searching the name, so we can say yes at after scanning half of the number of items we are finding a particular record. So, we can say this is n by 2. Now, next is cost of inquiries is proportional to suppose cost of inquiries is proportional to suppose m. I think this is m. Now, the total cost to insert m names or m inquiries, it will be Cn into m plus n. How it is actually? Suppose we want to insert some records. So, for inserting first we will search, and suppose we need to have insert m names. So, it will be n into m, and suppose we are multiplying it with some constant c. What is c here? C is a constant representing the time necessary for a few machine operations. So, it will be C into n into m. Similarly, if we are performing m inquiries, so for one inquiry on proportion cost will be C into n, and for m inquiries it will be C into m into m. So, if we will add up we will get C n n plus m. So, this is about list. Now, next is self-organizing list. So, in self-organizing list what we do here, we just add one extra pointer and this will increase the cost. So, in self-organizing list we will add one extra field, that is link, and this actually this adding this field will substantial fraction of searching time is saved. So, we are just adding one small information, that is linked field. So, in previous data structure we have name and information, here we have just added one more field, that is link, and link will store pointer to next node. So, and why this is called as self-organizing list actually? First I will explain you the linked structure, as we discussed here the array form where the elements are stored one after another in sequential way, and here they are linked. So, this is linked representation, and suppose first is pointing to 3. Now, 3 is at the first. Now, this 3 is pointing to 1. Now, suppose this is pointing to 1. Now, 1 is pointing to 4, mean link of 1 is pointing to 4, right, and then 4 is pointing to 2. Now, link of 4 is pointing to 2. So, this is in this way, 3 and then 1 and then 4 and then 2. Right. So, this is in this way. Now, what is the self-organizing list? Here names that are referenced frequently will tend to be the front of the list to found it quickly. So, what is observed actually, if you are writing some program, so in the program it is analyzed, then some small set of variable are used in the small section of program. So, there are certain variables that are used frequently. So, what we do, the variables that are referenced frequently or use referenced at particular small section of part frequently, we add them at the beginning of the list. So, we organize the list when a particular variable is encountered, particular name is encountered. So, what we do here actually, we just change the pointers whenever particular name is referenced. Now, suppose I am assuming that name 4 is referenced, this is referenced. Now what we will do here, first is pointing to 3. Now here we will make the change. Now first will point to 4. Suppose we are taking the example where 4 is referenced quickly. So here this is 4. Now link of 4. Now we will do some change into the here the pointer. Now first will point to 4, and link of I. Link of I is this is ith. Parent of this is this one, right? Now link of I this 2. Link of 2, this will be assigned to link of P. Now 1 will point to 2. Now next is link of I will be first will be assigned to link of I. Now link of I is this node actually. Link of I is this node. Now this will be first will be assigned to this. Now that will be mean first will be assigned to this mean 4, and this link first will be assigned to 4 will come over here, and first is this first is what? First is 3. Now 3 will be given to link of I. Link of I is this particular node. So this 4 and then 4 1 2 this, and because this we have updated, so this will be removed. So pointer will be now this will point to this will point to 4 to 4, 4 to 3, it mean it will be like this, right. So link of I mean this is I, and its link will point to first. Now first will be name of I, and what is name of I? Name of I is the name of I, the node that we are searching. Now first will be updated with name of I. So we can say the sequence will be first will be 4, then 3, 4, then 3, then 1, and then 2. So here we can say 4, then 3, then 1, and then 2. So in that way pointers will be updated. Now next is in the self organizing list, when it is preferred when we have a small set of names, when a small set of names are heavily used, and when it is time consuming, when references are random. And on average it is found that a small section of program is using a small set of variables, and that they are used frequently. So on an average we can say this scheme is time saving. Now next scheme is search tree. What we do in search tree? We search for a particular name, and this is the current pointer, and here we establish a BST type structure where node will have its left pointer and the right pointer, and here we will check if the name is matching to that particular node, then we will say yes, record is found. If name is less than that particular node, then we will look into the left subtree. So we will set P is equal to left of P. If name is greater than, search name is greater than particular recorded parent node, then we will look at the node at the record at the right subtree. So if record is name is greater than particular record, then we will look at the right subtree of the part. So here we will set it name P is equal to right of P. So in this way we will search the record into the tree. So on an average we can say if the records are referenced randomly, so we can say for searching a particular record, half of the tree will be scanned, mean up to its height. So we can say the scanned for searching a record, we can say it will be proportional to log n, right. So time required to enter n names or m queries, it will be C log n m plus n rather than m, because here for searching a particular record we will search through the depth of the tree, that will be log n. So this is the search tree. Now next is the hash table. Here we will have two tables. One is the hash table, second is the storage table. So in hash table we will keep the hash values from 0 to k minus 1, and in storage table we will store the information like name, info or link. So if we want to inquire a particular name, then we will compute hash value, and then based on particular hash value, suppose this is 5, then we will go to 5th list like this, and then we will look the record in that particular list. And if we want to enter the name, then we will create the record for it at the first available space in the storage table and link that record to the beginning of the H of H of nameth list. So, every time we will calculate H of name and we will find the value, right, we will find some value, we will go to that particular list and then in that particular list either name will be searched or it will be added at the beginning of that list. So, here the design criteria is H will distribute a name uniformly, then H should be easy to compute for names consisting the strings of character. Now, what will be the complexity? It will be n into m plus m whole by k. So, here actually suppose there are n number of records and k number of hash values are there. So, on an average we can say if the records are uniformly distributed among all k list, k hash values, k buckets we can say. So, on an average in a particular, for a particular hash value or in a particular there will be only n by k number of records. So, here at a time we will be searching only n by k number of records. So, it will be n by k into n number of inquiries plus n number of entries plus m number of inquiries. So, if value of k is high, then this scheme will give a very good result. So, this is all for this lecture. Thank you.